Oh man, okay. Oh my god, this chair is so scary. Hi vlog, it has been a minute for me. I know it's only been the last vlog since you've seen me, but I have not filmed for almost 2 weeks. There's a lot that's happened since the last clip you saw where I was starting a new quilt and like all this wonderful stuff was happening. This was going to be a studio vlog and I had started the sewing of my quilt. I was doing some hand stitching and you were seeing that. I was showing you just the start of my process for the first part of this quilt. It was very sweet. And then my whole life flipped upside down. That was the second week of July, and now it is the first week of August. So basically what happened is our house flooded because a water main in the street broke, and instead of going down the street, it went through our yard, through our home, and through our backyard, and my house was flooding at 3 o'clock in the morning. It was a very chaotic, scary half an hour that water was pouring into my house. Luckily, they turned it off pretty quickly once the emergency services got there, but it was still a life-altering event, and now I've been outside of my home. We have not been in our house since this all took place. I actually filmed the day after it happened, and I was in pretty good spirits still, despite this all happening and being awful, but I thought we were going to be able to stay in the home at that point while demo and rebuild was taking place. But that same day, just a few hours later, we were told to evacuate our home with all of our animals, and we had to find a place to stay. And since then, we have been hopping around in different Airbnbs that allow pets. So everybody has been jumping around, and it's been this really chaotic, stressful time. It's just this whole mess. So it's been really stressful, and I have not filmed at all. You know, when it initially happened and I was doing that like clip the day after, I was like, oh, maybe I'll film it and turn this pain into something that I can make into my art, because I really enjoy filming and editing and making videos for you guys, but it just did not end up being the case. It's been too stressful, and I would not wish this on literally anybody. Like I said, we think water was coming into our house for 20, 30-ish minutes maybe, and it still caused so much damage. The entire first floor of our home is being completely gutted and replaced, and it's really hard to watch your home that you've put so much time and energy into. I'm a big homebody, big introvert, just to watch it be completely torn apart and look like a shell of itself. Like, this whole of my home has been hurt, you know, and that's really been hard for me, not only just like emotionally, but physically being displaced, but emotionally as well. Like, I love our house and I put so much work into it to like make it a home, and now it's just been all ripped up and torn back because of a silly accident that happened. So that's where I've been at, and that's why the vlogs have been more spaced out, just because there has been so much going on. But I still want to like make things, and I want to keep this channel alive. Like, I had just started this channel and I was so excited about it, and then this huge thing happened, and yeah, it's difficult to navigate. I have a lot of empathy and a whole new perspective for people that go through this, because I had never been through a disaster involving my home, and this is like a man-made disaster. I just can't imagine like a natural disaster. It just, like, you know, somebody turned the water off that was pouring into our home, and I just cannot imagine if I didn't have that option. You know, it took a while for that option to come to fruition, but it was still an option at the end of the day. It still was turned off like within 30 minutes. And yeah, it really like has been an isolating experience and has like changed my perspective on disaster and the things that people go through forever. So that's what's been going on over here. We are starting the rebuild phase of the home now. Finally, it just has felt like it's taken forever, but rebuild is happening this week. So I thought it would be a good time to start vlogging again, as now we've kind of settled into this new routine of house hopping and etc., etc. And I have been getting up to things to try and just like distract myself from all of this. So the footage you saw for the intro to this vlog, for example, was Emily and I walking around downtown Raleigh, and that was really healing for us. And it's like so nice to be able to just go out into the world and kind of pretend like this isn't happening for a second, having that time to be human and not be like a distressed out, upset, anxious shell of a human instead, you know. Like, oh, and I also want to mention too that everybody's okay. Emily and I are fine. Everybody's fine. We have all of the animals with us except Zippy. She is with another person in our community of the Seeing Eye Dog program. So she has been with different dog sitters. So if anyone's gotten anything good out of this, it's her. She's been having a blast with her new dog sitters and just getting great experiences for her training. Yeah, she is all good where she's at. But, you know, the cats have definitely taken this on the chin and adjusted to moving place to place to place. So that's kind of been the life update. This vlog will just be my life right now. So like I showed you today, we went to Raleigh this evening. We're going to see together the film, the new horror film that came out, and I'm really excited to see that. And then I am just starting the week tomorrow with a normal work week for me, and probably going to the house and making decisions on things. We ordered floors, so floors will be coming in, drywall's going back up, but there's still some demo that needs to happen in certain spots of the downstairs because we'll be changing things up a little bit. I'm going to give you some reading updates as well. Maybe not now. I think tomorrow I'll probably give you some reading updates, because if there's one thing that I've been doing a lot during this time, not filming, is reading. I've read probably 3 or 4 books in the last 2 weeks. It's a good distraction, and sometimes I don't always feel like staring at a screen, especially when I stare at a screen all day for work. That's been nice. I've not been feeling super creative recently, as you can maybe imagine. The creative juices have been kind of not in the forefront of my mind. It's not been a priority. I did work on the new quilt-top a little bit the first week that we were dealing with this, because I thought I could just like push through it. It's definitely just been not the case. So I've not sewn for a week or more, but I would like to do that again this week, get started on that quilt-top. My current house situation, the lighting is really poor in there. There's like no natural light whatsoever. As you can see, the property is buried in trees, so there's just not a lot of natural light opportunities. So it's not like the most aesthetic footage, but that doesn't really matter at this point. It's fine. Whenever I do work on the quilt, I will show you. That's kind of my plan for this week, and then hopefully next week we'll be back in the house and I can kind of resume more normal-ish content by then. I hope. I sincerely hope and pray. I think some parting thoughts I have for this right now are to just check on your friends if they're going through hard stuff, because like I said, this has been incredibly isolating. And even if you haven't been through something like this, just the people in your life knowing that you're there for them is really important. You know, just check in on them more than ever, I think. Now that, you know, I've been grieving the last 2 weeks, I'm really trying to like turn a new leaf, so to say. And now that the house is being rebuilt, just to kind of like rebuild myself too. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say for now. Like I said, it's Sunday afternoon. We're going to go to the movie in a couple hours, and I probably won't check in with you till tomorrow, but expect some reading updates tomorrow, because I have a lot of reading that I've done and would like to talk about. So thank you so much for being here and watching me go through this, even though it's kind of like the second half of going through it. I just didn't have it in me to film it, but thank you for joining me through this journey of my life. It is not a fun chapter, but hopefully a chapter that'll end and move on to the next one soon. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say for right now. Again, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you tomorrow. Okay, thanks. Take care. I really appreciate you. Thanks. Bye. Get a chair in here, make myself comfortable. Or is it better to have you here? Oh. I hope this is okay for filming. A couple things. I'm in weird ass lighting. My camera is precariously balancing, and I don't have full trust that it will stay, but we will keep an eye on it. And I'm filming in manual mode this morning. I have been editing clips and like taking clips, and even the footage I took last night all has been in automatic thus far, but I'm not always happy with how it looks, like how the lighting looks, like the highlights are blown out, etc., etc. So I'm trying my hand at manual. So you are fully manual right now, and the white balance is also manual because this bathroom is so warm toned. Even when I'm doing my makeup, it like messes with me. I just wanted to adjust the white balance so it wasn't so warm and orange for you, and hopefully it looks okay. I will see in post, like in editing, how it looks. It is really early here on Monday. I am just putting some makeup on, not because I need to, but because doing things like getting ready and putting makeup on helps me feel like I have a little bit of normalcy left. Just having some parts of my routine from prior to this all happening has been really helpful for my mental health. I just wanted to put some makeup on and chat with you guys about some of the other things that have been going on that I didn't mention yesterday. So yes, thank you for being here. It's a Monday, and on Mondays I work, obviously. I have a Monday through Friday, so I'll be working today, but I do want to do a couple of other things aside from working, like outside of work hours. So at noon today, Emily and I are meeting our project manager at our house to discuss rebuild. Finally, we're discussing rebuild. It has been 2 weeks since this all happened, 2 weeks and a couple days. Demo is done, abatement is done. Now it's just time to go over everything that needs to happen before we can move back in. So we're gonna meet him at lunchtime to discuss everything, but that is happening, and I did not realize that was happening until like 30 minutes ago. So that's gonna be my lunch hour, and then working, like I said, and then this evening I would like to start doing some quilt making on the quilt that I had started. Not sure what we'll do, but I do have some templates printed out so I can like do a little applique template situation. I think I might work on that tonight, as well as just show you the progress that I've made on the quilt, because the last I showed you I was like stitching the very first piece of embroidery on there, and you know, some has happened since then, not a lot, don't get it twisted, but some has happened since then. One thing I've been doing is buying a lot of makeup while we've been in here, which is not a good thing, but it's just something I can control, and I am definitely prone to emotional spending when in times of high stress, so I will not deny that. But I've been really enjoying this pink eyeshadow from MAC. It's called Yogurt, and I just throw this all over the lid. It's been like a really nice base for me, because I don't know about you guys, but like I've been struggling to find a base color that can go over my eyelid and not look like I'm wearing too much makeup, but also if I don't put makeup on my eyelid, I feel like it looks weird, like it doesn't look good. So I don't know, but I finally tried this one, and I feel like it cancels out the discoloration in my eyelids while also making them look fresh, but like not too fresh. You know what I mean? But not the olive skin tone, undertone struggle. But yeah, I've been really liking this. And it's so funny how my relationship with makeup has changed. Like in college or in my early 20s, I would always say I feel like I didn't look like myself until I had makeup on. And now if it looks like I have makeup on, like if it really looks like I have makeup on, like eyeshadow, eyeliner, I still do complexion and all that kind of stuff. I love blush, obviously. But like if I do heavy eye makeup, I do not feel like myself. I feel like I look just, I don't know, not me. And it's a strange conclusion to come to, because I used to be eyeliner to the gods, smoky eye all the time, and now it just doesn't feel like me anymore. So I guess that's evolving. Yeah, now I just focus on complexion and blush and eyelashes for the most part. Oh, so we saw it together last night. I almost forgot to update you on that. Really liked it. Some parts were very silly, but I think they were silly in like an ironic kind of way, like intentionally silly. So I really enjoyed it. I have come to find, as I've gotten older, and I've been like a horror girl for a really long time. Growing up, like in my high school days, I loved like the paranormal kind of horror, like Paranormal Activity, The Conjuring, Insidious, like all of those like demon, paranormal, ghost, haunting type archetype movies and films and books. Like those were always my jam. But now I feel like I'm maybe a little desensitized to it, and now the body horror really gets me. And together the film is kind of centralized around body horror. I knew that going in, and I really enjoyed it. I would definitely recommend it, but keep in mind the lens of like the ironic, silly horror elements. At first I was like, this is kind of stupid, and then I was like, okay, just embrace it. Why am I being like, why do I have a bad attitude right now? Just embrace it. I think it has like 91% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is, I think, a good sign. It's telling. Man, I really hope this lighting is like not crazy for y'all. I feel like it probably looks crazy. It's not about seeing what I'm doing, it's about listening to me yap, I guess, but regardless, I don't want it to be garbage footage-wise, but we work with what we got. So staying in the horror realm, I did want to mention the books that I've been reading, because when I was chatting with you yesterday, I told you, or I let you know that I have been reading a lot of books while I've been here and been in this situation, because it's like low effort, but I also get something out of it. So that's been really good for me, I think. I've read 3 or 4 books since this all happened, and they've all been in the horror realm, but I just wanted to take a second to update you on those. It's difficult to remember where I left off reading wise, because I'm editing the vlog that's going to go up before this one right now, and I'm just getting to the part where I'm talking about books, but I don't remember what I said. I think I was still reading The Starving Saints in that clip. So I finished The Starving Saints on the 13th, which would have been right before everything happened. So I did finish it. I ended up giving it only 3 stars. And in the beginning, it took me a minute to get into it. I mentioned having to like get it on Audible and on my Kindle. And so once I did that, I was enjoying it, liking it. I did like the characters for the most part, but there was just some parts in the plot that didn't really make sense to me or kind of fell short. While I did enjoy it in general, it wasn't like anything astounding to me. So I gave that 3 stars. After that, I read House of Beth, which was one of my Aardvark book club picks. And that one was kind of centered around a domestic relationship, and the main character had OCD, which, you know, caught my eye and intrigued me because I also have it. I gave that one 3 stars as well. I feel like the buildup of that book kind of lacked for me, and then some of the character development, like there was a love interest in the book, and then when she got the love interest, we learned nothing more about him, which I feel like I didn't know him at all, so that kind of let me down a little bit. The buildup of the whole thing, it was okay for me. After that, after having like 2 3-star reads back to back, I was like, gosh, I really need something that'll like reignite my fire while I'm going through absolute hell in my personal life. I had heard great things about The Lamb by Lucy Rose, and so I decided to read that one next. And I did have the physical copy of that book, but it is somewhere in the house. I have no idea where it is, because all my books on my bookshelf in the living room had to be moved because the bookshelves had to go because I got wet, and yeah, had no clue where that was. So I just got it on my e-reader, and I loved that book. That book was so good. It was so atmospheric and like full of vibes, but it also was a great conversation on women and women supporting women and mother-daughter relationships, albeit complicated mother-daughter relationships, and just a character that like is constantly sold short on life. The cards that were dealt to her, our main character, are just like unfortunate one after another. So it was a really sad story, but it was beautifully written. It was domestic cannibalism and not systemic cannibalism, if that makes sense. So it was great. I loved it. I highlighted a lot of that book in my Kindle, so I'll definitely have to revisit that. I gave that one 5 stars, and I finished that one just before the month of August. So that was a good one for me to kind of like leave off on. And now I'm reading The Rotting Room by Vicky Parhampton. I'm about 70% of the way through it, and I'm loving it. It's about a nun who has moved from one convent to another one, and her previous convent was full of horrors, and now this one is also full of horrors. So you're like, is the convent the problem? Is our main character the problem? I don't really know yet. I will find out. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it, and it's kind of just mostly vibes with a lot of like horror and graphic imagery that I've been gobbling up. Okay, so now that is done, I hope you enjoyed getting ready with me. I'm going to meet Emily later today with our project manager to go over rebuild at the house, and then I will just work for the rest of the day. I will just show you some evening clips. It'll probably be more like hangout vibes versus like, here's how I'm doing this. Thank you so much for hanging out and listening to me talk. This is only day 2 back at filming, but it already feels more natural and better again to sit and talk to a camera and just kind of get all of my thoughts and feelings and experiences out there. Yeah, I'm happy to be back, and I'm really liking the footage that I got from the vlog that you watched before this that I'm editing now. It makes me excited to get back into it, you know, just showing you every bit of my life, whether it be good, bad, neutral. It's, you know, just showing you all of it is so far really rewarding for me, and it's like making something out of it despite what I'm going through. I will talk to you soon. If you don't actually hear from me tonight, if you just see me tonight, then I will talk to you tomorrow or the next day or the next day. At some point this week, I will talk to you. Okay. All right. Bye. Thanks. Hi vlog, I'm here for the outro. It is 6:57 in the morning. I've had 1 cup of tea and my voice definitely still feels a little croaky. I might be a little frog-like this morning, but I just wanted to check in before ending this vlog and give you a little recap on the rest of the week. Definitely wanted to check in before the outro of this vlog, but I am just feeling so off of my routine. It is really difficult. I don't think I've been this unsettled for this long in a really long amount of time, and I'm struggling with trying to navigate it and continue with my normal routines when my overall routine is completely thrown off and different. So I apologize for that, but hopefully after we move back into the house, things will settle back in and I will be able to make content more regularly and like I did before, because the footage I took of this vlog just feels kind of disorienting and unorganized based on what I can see. So we'll see what kind of magic I can make in post editing, but as of now I feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm just being a little hard on myself, but I feel like this vlog is not going to be as representative of vlogs I've done in the past. It is what it is at this point. I have a lot of circumstances that are out of my control, so I need to adjust and remember that moving forward as I'm making more content about this whole situation, or not about this whole situation, but while this whole situation is going on. Yeah, that is kind of my disclaimer for that. But as far as the rest of the week, we went to puppy class and we got to see Zippy. So puppy class meets every 2 weeks, and this past week was a puppy class day, so I got to see Zip. So did Emily. We got to work with her. Her babysitter handed her off for class, so I got to work with her, which was really nice, and I just miss her so much. I'm so excited to have her back in the house. Just miss my little girl. So it was really nice to see her. Other fun things that we did this week were we went to a ramen place that we used to go to all the time before I was vegetarian, and since becoming vegetarian, like, we hadn't really been there because there wasn't really great options for me. But recently they came out with a vegan miso ramen and I tried that and it was delicious. It was so good, and that makes me really excited to be able to have a ramen option that rich and flavorful and filling. I added a soft-boiled egg to mine because I do eat eggs, and they gave me 2 for some reason, so that was a nice little surprise, but it made for great leftovers, so I'm really excited about that. That was delicious. Also, I finished The Rotting Room, which, oh my gosh, I loved that book so much. I gave it 5 stars on Goodreads. It was very much like classic horror vibes, which I really love. I mean, you know this about me, Dracula is like one of my favorite stories of all time, so anything in that kind of historic gothic realm I am all about. And I also have come to learn that I really love religious horror, so I'm going to keep that in mind moving forward when I'm stuck on a reading slump and don't know what to read or pick up next. So I really loved it. I don't want to spoil too much or give anything away, but just the characters themselves, the ending, it was kind of unexpected. I love an ending that doesn't always end on a happy note because I think that's more realistic, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. Next, I have started this. I've just started it, and this is Blood on Her Tongue, and I wanted to read this one before summer was over, so I'm glad that I'm getting to it. I am equally excited for this one. I think in the last vlog when I was talking about this book, I suspected it was another human eating human book, but not in the way that I was thinking. So if you think about hunger, blood, being unsatiated, I think, I'm gonna just say I think this might be a vampire book, and I did not expect that. So if it is, I'm going to be so excited. And then lastly, I wanted to give some house updates because a lot of progress has been made. Earlier this week, I was definitely feeling down and out and anxious about where the house stood because it felt like we had been doing remediation and abatement for 3 weeks, which we had. It took a really long time, and at that point you're just watching your house get torn apart and not rebuilt, so it's hard to kind of stomach that and go through that. But I'm so excited to say that rebuild has finally started. Oh my gosh, I never thought this day would come. Like at the beginning of this week I was just not feeling great about it, but rebuild has officially started, and oh my gosh, seeing drywall up and primer just on the drywall, like a white canvas, like, oh my goodness, it feels like my house is being put back together finally, and I'm so relieved and so excited to finally get back in the house. We're unsure of when that exactly will be. Is before the weekend, and our angels that are working on our house are working through the weekend. So hopefully some good progress can be made by the beginning of next week. And I don't want to jinx it, but I think we're hoping to be in the house by the end of next week. Fingers crossed. Fingers so crossed. We'll see what happens. I have become really comfortable with impermanence at this point. So if that changes, I will let you know and keep you updated. But as of right now, nothing is going to change, and that's what's going to happen. I'm just going to try and manifest that. I think that is all I have to say and update you on for now. If you stuck through this vlog, thank you so much. It is a really rough time over here, and I appreciate every like, every view that I get. I have no idea what the next vlog is going to look like because we are currently trying to shop for things for the house to replace what we lost. I want to work on my quilt. I want to read. That's kind of all I got going on at the moment, and while it might not seem like much, it is a lot just because of the stress of everything. I don't know what this next vlog will look like. It might be a little chaotic, like I imagine this one might be. But again, regardless, I really appreciate you sticking through this with me. And I cannot wait to be on the other side of this with you. And that is something to look forward to. So again, thank you for being here. I cannot wait to catch up with you soon, and I will see you in the next one. I hope you take care of yourself. But yeah, thanks so much. I will see you soon. Bye.